So what's up everybody, it's me, True Star Screamer. Told you it wouldn't be so long, told you I wouldn't do such a big delay. And here we got something really cool. We've got our hands on the Mafex Batman Hush version of Nightwing. I was very excited on getting this figure. It was one I told myself I wasn't going to get any Mafex. I'm trying to cut down on some of the high-end stuff, but yeah, I had to get my hands on this guy. I am a very large Nightwing fan. From the Chuck Dixon run all the way to the modern stuff, I'm a big fan. Artwork on the back, awesome posing, but I know, we don't care about boxes. Let's get this guy open. Before I get on with this figure, I want to dedicate this review to a guy. I'm not going to put his real name out here, but he actually went by the online alias of Nightwingum. He was an active member of the Figure Action podcast audience. He was an active member of the realm of collectors, and yes, the man was a huge Nightwing fan. So this was a figure when announced. He mentioned how he needed this figure in his life. So I actually kind of bought this with him in mind. I wish he could have gotten his hands on this. So Nightwingum, this review is for you, and this spot in my collection will always be, I'll be thinking of you when I see him at that. That being said, let's talk about the Mafex Nightwing. I only have one other Mafex figure, official Mafex figure in my collection, which is a Spider-Man that I got in a trade, and then I inadvertently bought a knockoff Mafex John Wick figure, which goes back to the adage of the price is too good to be true, it's a knockoff. So this is the first Mafex figure I've actually actively spent money on. Because they're expensive. They are very expensive. So the question, of course, is he worth the price? I do have a good amount of Nightwing figures in my collection. I've got 3 of the McFarlane ones. I don't have any of the Mattel ones. I have him on display here using my 2 favorite hands that he comes with. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. The sculpt is beautiful. The plastic is a high quality, absolutely. I mean, for a figure over $90, it better be, and it is. So far the joint tolerances are absolutely astounding, which is great. You look him over, you got the little folds in the costume. Yeah, he's poured into that. He was poured into that suit, ladies. I mean, I like the fact how the muscle definition is on this. The articulation is absolutely on point. I mean, you can see he's got the butterfly joint, double jointed elbows. Of course, everything is pinless. Double jointed knees, great ankle rockers. The wrists are on the proper hinges. No thigh swivel, and the hip is a slight drop down, which is nice, but there is no thigh swivel. So it does have the ball socket up here. It does allow a lot of good posing, but I think a thigh swivel still would have been nice, but then you would have had a break in the sculpt. Ab crunch, good forward. Really good on the back, but you do break the sculpt. But depending on how you're posing it, it's all good. Neck. You know what? We'll be talking about that. This happens more often than you think. Neck's on a post, and the head's on a ball joint too. So you get all the cool Nightwing stuff that you wanted to do. What's interesting is just with how the joints, it's almost hard to set them up in a basic pose. I mean, once you start posing them, it's like getting them back together into a neutral stance is almost a challenge, just trying to get everything all aligned up. Let's talk some of these accessories, though. He definitely comes with a good amount. Alright, let us talk some accessories. As you can see, he has 2 of the eskrima sticks. Just batons. This is the Filipino martial arts style. He has the two hands that have the Eskrima a twirling, but as you saw, these actually do pop. They're on a little ball pin. There's a little pin in here that this inserts, but they, as you saw before, they kind of pop out pretty easy. He's got two holding hands, holding on here. He comes packaged with fists, and I get why Mafex does these little trees on here. I kind of wish they copied off Figma. I think Figma's tree hand is still the best for things like that. But he's got two fists, two general gesturing hands, two karate chop hands, and two assessing Batgirls. I mean, no, two open gesturing hands, which is really good for crouching poses. He also has an alternate back piece. Basically, these pop on and off, so you can actually have him running around with the Eskrima sticks on his back, which is comic accurate, though then they tend to vanish as soon as he takes them off. Slide these in and out. Don't try to pop it in and out. You'll break these tabs. Finally, we get we have the Eskrima sticks with a cable running through them. I guess he pulls them kind of like Daredevil, where he joins them together and then a rope is stored in them. I know he kind of uses it to get around in the comic. Obviously, if Mafex ever makes a Daredevil figure, we'll be seeing something like this again. It looks cool, and again, the bendy wire definitely makes it a lot of fun. So you can give a lot of dynamic looks, and I look forward to using this in photography. Just then once you bend it, you will never get it straight like that ever again. And finally, we have an alternate Grimace head. Both of these have the windswept hair attached to it. I think I kind of would have liked if he had a replaceable hair, like so he had two hairs, and then you could switch them between the two, kind of like Reveltech does, so you can have them in a calm stance. The Grimace is pretty good for a fight scene. In here, he kind of has that stoic, slight grin, but I think I would have preferred also a true wry grin, an arrogant grin for him. But overall, that's pretty good for the accessory count. And also, there's a Mafex stand, which I still have in the plastic. Nightwing is not one like Batman to have a ton of gadgets, so he doesn't have anything like, a Nightwing orang or whatever. And this is, I think, a satisfactory amount of accessories, though I am a little annoyed with how easy this pops out. I think I probably would have liked, again, just a third head sculpt, just for me. But let's have some fun with actually showing off this articulation. I don't think I mentioned he does have a toe joint as well. So now you gotta make sure you mention these things. I'm still getting text messages about the thigh swivel on that select blade. But this is pretty good. I mean, I can set him up just a perfect 3-point landing. So he hits pretty much everywhere I want him to hit. He balances really well. I know when I first got him, one of the first things I did was set him up in a good kicking pose. Let's see if I can do that for you live on camera. See, balances. You can do a lot of good things with him. So, very happy. Finally, let's talk some size comparisons. This is big for me because obviously, I do photography, especially if you want to have static poses. So let's break out your basic Marvel Legends 6-inch figure. This is the Bucky Cap mold, and he is definitely smaller than that. This is the Captain Marvel, but it's your basic Bucky Cap. Here is my favorite, probably one of my favorite figures I have, the Garrison Cavalry, and yeah, if I'm doing having people sitting and talking to each other, they really don't look that good, to be honest. He looks Like, these guys look like they're towering over him. So, while these guys are your 6-inch scale, obviously he is smaller than that. So, keep that in mind. If you're doing photography, probably you'll be wanting to keep him in an action, so you have these guys almost in a more dynamic, either in motion themselves, take advantage of force perspective. Now, breaking up a few other toy lines, yes, this is an articulated icon solitaire figure. Yeah, I've had this guy since the original Kickstarter. Flex, baby. But this is a much better scale. And then we have a 1000 Toys synthetic human. Everyone should have one of these in their collection if they can. This is just such a good figure. This looks much better to scale. So, with other import figures or independent lines, yes, he's very good with that. Just for kicks, here he is with Ryu. I'm not a big fan of it. Plus, we all know, if he's going to cross over with a fighting game, it's going to be Mortal Kombat. Which, I'm not even going to bother with the Storm collectibles on that. He is, we all know, not to scale. So when it's all said and done, yes, this is probably the best Nightwing figure ever made. I am not going to say this is one of the best action figures ever made. Oh, I know, blasphemy. But it's weird because, like, these thighs are so tight. Just trying to get into a comfortable pose. I mean, you heard that? It's weird just trying to get him into a neutral pose, a natural pose. It was weird trying to get him into a running pose, to be honest. I do not know how some people... my balance game is just not that good. But it's like it feels like he should be moving more smooth than he does. So, if you are a die-hard Nightwing fan, yeah, you should definitely get this guy. If you are not, I would not say spend the money on this. This is not... I don't want to say I'm having buyer's regret, because, again, there's definitely some sentimental value to this figure. But for what they're charging and what you're getting, this guy, I think, should have been maybe a $75 figure, not a $90 plus figure. The fact that the batons fall out of the hand so easily. I'm not really a fan of the accessory storage. They have these trees on there, and once you pull them off the tree, they stay pretty loose. And okay, this is cool, but it's not. I'm worried if I bend this too much, it's going to snap. I was actually going to use it for this final shot video, and it just didn't feel right. So I bought a lot of accessories that I'm not using. I mean, the hands I'll probably use, the heads I'll probably use, but not sure about changing out the back panel, to be honest. So, it's a good figure. I just don't think it's worth the price. If you are in a giveaway group and you shoot for this guy, absolutely. If you see somebody selling him for under $80 or under, get him. But I can't wholeheartedly say bust out the internet and buy one now. There's other figures that I think that are much higher on that rank. So, those are my thoughts. You know, other people have reviewed them. These are my thoughts. If you have your own opinion, let me know down below. Give us a comment. If you like this video, of course, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I hit the statistic button, and 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. Come on, guys. We're just that much closer to getting us into the, you know, so I can get my $2, 2 cents a month from YouTube. No. But seriously, if you are liking this stuff, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you guys onto the crew. But for all you regulars and for all you new folks, thank you again. And as always, until next time, take care. Peace.